This is my ultimate no BS guide on navigating. How to find trails, how to navigate offline, what apps and devices to use, how to read a map, avoiding potential mistakes. If you like going outdoors, I promise that this video will be useful to you. For finding some hiking trails to follow, I realistically recommend only two websites: AllTrails if you're from North America and Wikiloc if you're from anywhere else. All you need to do is log in with a free account, select hiking as the main activity, zoom into the area where you want to be hiking, and start looking for different hiking trails. When you find a hiking trail that you like, simply download the .gpx file for this trail, which you'll need later for actually navigating it. I recommend doing this on your PC because you can get the .gpx files on there completely for free. If you'll try doing that on your phone using either of these two hiking apps, then you'll need a premium account. When it comes to actually navigating the trail, you can navigate using your phone, a map and a compass, a GPS watch, or a GPS unit. Nowadays, I would say that the cheapest and easiest solution is using a navigation app on your phone, because your phone has a pretty accurate built-in GPS, which doesn't need an internet connection and it doesn't need any cell service to work. Most smartphones nowadays are pretty reliable, but of course something could happen to them, so you always need some kind of a backup. If you're on a budget, one option that you could do is use your old smartphone for this. Simply upload all the maps in it before you leave while you're still at home, keep it in a Ziploc bag while you're hiking, and also bring a power bank in case you need to charge it. Another really good way to navigate is paper maps and a compass. One downside for this is that you'll be navigating at much larger scales, so there won't be as much information on the map, and also it is a bit easier to get lost because you'll always have to guess your current location based on the terrain. To get paper maps for free for certain areas, I would recommend the web version of CalTopo. You can upload a .gpx file on there for free, select all the information that you want to see in the background of the map, and then download and print it completely for free. 2 months ago, Chorus sent me my first ever GPS watch, and honestly, when I first received it, I thought that I wouldn't probably use it that much. I thought of it more as a luxury item, but now it's totally become an essential item for me, which I use every day when I'm outdoors. That's because if I'm navigating just using my phone, I have to take it out of my pocket every few minutes to make sure that I'm still on the trail. But using this thing, I can just raise my hand and quickly glance at the screen and make sure that I'm still on the trail and my phone can stay in my pocket. Now I need to take out my phone only when I want to look at a bigger map, because realistically, this screen is a bit too small to find out potential water sources, potential detours, and so on. Using your phone is still much better for that. So to sum up, you don't really need a GPS watch. You can just navigate using your phone. But I think that getting a GPS watch is a very useful upgrade, which makes your life easier. GPS units, in my opinion, nowadays are pretty much useless. Of course, they are much more accurate and much more reliable compared to your phone. However, the accuracy on the GPS on your phone usually is accurate enough for hiking, and to offset the reliability, you can just bring another phone that you aren't using. Right now, I'm trying something new. I'm not accepting any sponsors on this channel, including this video. It doesn't have any sponsors. So the best way that you can support this channel, if you want to, of course, is by checking out my own posters that I make together with my wife on trailgoals.com. If you or your friend has finished a hike that you're proud of, our posters will help you remember this adventure. As of right now, on our website, we have posters for over 170 different hiking trails. And right now is a really good time to do that, because in addition to the regular 10% discount that you'll get with the discount code OscarHikes, we're running another sale until the 10th of December that will get you another 10% off. Thank you for not skipping, and now let's get back to the video. I've used Gaia GPS for the past 4 years, and even in 2024, I still think it's the best option because their maps load very quickly, they're very detailed, but at the same time, they aren't too cluttered. If you don't want to pay anything for a hiking app, then it's totally doable with the free version of Gaia GPS. While you're still at home, simply import the .gpx file on the app. You'll now see the whole route that you're planning to do. Now zoom in to at least 100 meter scale, and then start following the whole route. This will automatically download all the map tiles in your phone's cache, which means that the next time that you lose your internet connection, you'll still be able to see all the areas where you zoomed in previously. But before you go out hiking, you need to make sure that it works. So turn on airplane mode, restart the app, and then double check that you're still able to see all the areas without any internet connection. Honestly, I've done this for the past 4 years and this has never failed me, but I do agree that this is a bit risky because theoretically your phone's cache could be deleted at any time. So a more reliable option would be to download offline maps for specific areas, but this is usually available only on paid hiking apps. For a paid hiking app, I would still recommend Gaia GPS. However, they did recently increase their prices and now they cost $60 per year, which is quite a lot. So I started looking for alternatives and I only found one, which is called Goat Maps, which costs $30 per year. I've been testing their app for the past month now and I think it's almost as good as Gaia and in some aspects even better. The only downside to them is that currently, while they're still new, they only have a version for iOS, which means no Android and also no web version. I like to plan my own custom routes on my PC because of a larger screen, and for that I recommend two websites, CalTopo and Gaia GPS, with Gaia GPS being my preference. To do that, you simply need to click on the route section on the left side and then start clicking on the map, and the route will automatically snap to the trails or roads. One thing that I think is extremely helpful here is to turn on the 3D mode, which allows you to visualize the terrain a bit better. When you're finished, it will show you exactly how long the hike will be and exactly with what kind of elevation gain. When you look at a topographic map, it will always have contour lines, which are really useful for hiking. The parts where the contour lines are very close together are very steep, which means that the trail is probably going to be really difficult. Sometimes it's easier to do a slightly longer route if it avoids these steep sections. In places where these contour lines are very far from each other, the terrain is more flat, and this is really useful for finding potential places where you can set up your tent. Another important thing to watch out for is the tree cover, these dark green areas, because it's also useful for finding places where to set up your tent. Another tip is not only to look at the topographic maps, but also cross-check them via satellite, because sometimes not all trails and roads are marked on the topographic map. Sometimes it may seem like you could just take a shortcut, which would be faster. However, I wouldn't recommend that from my own experience. Usually the shortcut takes longer and is more dangerous because it's too overgrown or too steep. And my last tip is to watch out for and learn how to recognize important points of interest, like water sources, streams, rivers and lakes, mountain huts, peaks, mountain passes, caves, and other points of interest. So essentially there are two options to choose from: personal locator beacons and satellite messenger devices. Personally, I wouldn't recommend PLBs or personal locator beacons because they only allow for one-way communications. Essentially, they only have a button that you can push and that's it. Satellite communicators, on the other hand, allow two-way communication, which means that you can message anyone, you can receive messages back from them, and you can explain the situation. For example, if you just sprain your ankle, you can message your wife or your friend and let them know that you'll probably be delayed and that you're fine and that you don't need a rescue. One other important thing that I want to mention here is that now iPhone 14 and 15 users can use satellite messaging for free, which essentially makes satellite messengers useless. However, the problem is that right now they're only available in North America, not Europe. And also iPhone 14 and 15 is pretty expensive. Even if you're looking at a used one, you're looking at a €500 upgrade. You should also get some kind of insurance for a rescue in the mountains, because these can be incredibly expensive, ranging between 10 to 50,000 euros for a heli rescue. But luckily the insurance for this is pretty cheap. At least here in Europe we have various mountain clubs. For example, the Austrian Alpine Club, which has a yearly subscription of about 70 euros, and it covers a rescue in the mountains anywhere in the world. Some other ones to look into are the German, French, and the Italian Alpine Clubs, and you also do not need to be a citizen of that country to get into these mountain clubs. Anyway, that's all I have to say about navigating. If you have anything else to add, please write that down in the video comments so that it helps out other people. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in one of my next videos. See ya!